Flash Gaming.
We've got a setup here in halls. Tarek spotting all the way down for that information, and 2 in the boiler. Fall in here just a spot and fall back, so if it's going directly to his site, then he has a big advantage, but they test him.
Smoke in his face. He's going to try to challenge that regardless, and it's Stu to the back of the site. He's going to pick himself up the first kill. Tries to get another headshot, but suddenly all the targets disappear. They found cover, and they found a bit of timing to breathe, so they think. Fallen and Stu reapply with some pressure. They pick up those 2 kills, and this pistol is looking fantastic for the defense. Everybody's dead for the tease. It's flawless.
That's an amazing hold. I mean, we can really call that Stu box. He had that 1 round at the major in the final with the op denying the plant, getting 2 extra kills, and ever since then.
And it rhymes with new box.
Easily.
Stu box.
It's the easiest rename of all time.
Let's make that a thing.
They've got Tarek box, which doesn't roll off the tongue, but since it's self-appointed, I feel like he's allowed to do that. As a major winner, you should probably be able to like pick one thing you had to call out, kind of like a graffiti of sorts.
Yeah.
Self-appointed graffiti.
That's fair.
If you're a streamer, you have to be a streamer though.
Why?
Because then no one's gonna remember if you're not. You just got to be a streamer, you know.
That's
a
fair.
Streamer privilege.
Do you think that has anything to do with, inherent bias?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're saying you're more important than me?
I think that. Well, I mean, I didn't have to say it, but
Fair enough.
But thanks for making me look like the villain now, Connor. We had in our interview with Paula, who was it that was interviewed on MVP? I forget the name.
Unfortunately, I don't remember.
Mini
Zeta? Mini Zeta?
Mini Zeta.
Yeah.
He said, I would like to play Mibr and beat Fallen and Tarek.
In particular, just those 2.
Just called them out. It's got to be the streams. I mean.
That's fair.
Yeah, I think so.
I feel like it's an accomplishment to beat them.
Yeah. I would love to beat both of them.
It's also a bit of a stretch of the imagination. I feel like, unfortunately, for MVP, despite having toppled Virtus Pro, that no matter what, I don't see MIBR losing this series. Like, if I had to make a prediction, I'm throwing that out there. I just don't see Flash doing it. The gap is too big, right? We've had a gap between each of our challengers, but we've also always kind of, took a bit of a notch out of each of the favored teams. I don't see what I'm going to criticize here with MIBR. Like, oh, maybe the past results, but I have a lot of faith in the process that has happened over the player break, and I expect them to come in here and maybe just show us that they are going to be starting to remake some progress. And obviously, there he is, the first time on camera behind the team.
Man's already sitting down.
Yeah, he just
I thought
hides.
he'd be standing for this, though, at least 40 minutes. See the porn star T-shirt? Oh,
I hear he's clapping.
Nice.
There we go.
He's
That's energy.
up. Throw some ones at him.
Hit him.
Yeah, it should be good. When I talked to Yanko, he was saying that the main problem for him at first was that they were doing so well in scrims as soon as he joined the team that he had like nothing to criticize.
Yeah, okay.
And he was like hoping they would lose sooner.
Well,
so
yeah,
that's a good thing. That's a good problem to have, right?
Yeah. Oh darn, we win too much. See if they can convert that pistol round though, straight up into the double rifle, 3 SMGs. Close presence from Stu.
Wow. Already got the aggressive smoke down banana. This is the kind of control you go for on a on a rifle, but it's definitely, you can never be too careful with these pistols these days. These kids with these pistols these days.
Rapscallions and rascals.
A whole lot of them.
Ooh.
Okay, that's a long-range CZ.
Yeah, makes it look too easy. And Cold Zera tries to trade one back towards Boiler, but the player's going to get away with just enough health. 19 HP the difference. Look over towards Arch right now. The Zo Kings going one further. And if they can get past Stu, then that B site's open for the taking.
Look at how cognizant Stu is of what's happening, though. With Arch being opened up, there's always the opportunity to grab in a thing. Now it's going to have a lot of pressure put on him from a guy who can head peek. That's Tarek.
Cold Zera gets pinched from both directions. Freeman, attacker combined. However, remember the HP here is minimal. 17 health for the 2 remaining Flash players. Stu creeping his way up from truck lane. He's going to have the element of surprise if he can strike them before they realize what is up. And they have all their attention trained over towards Library. So Stu, with a couple of shots, could be able to kill them both, but he's been spotted from beneath. Just as he puts himself into an exposed position, he's caught out in the open.
It's hard to say if he made noise jumping up. It seemed like he did it pretty safely. And as you're jumping up on things, you can go completely silently, but for some reason or another, they got a tip, they looked up, and took him down. Now, with the 1-to-1 Flash Gaming, take this back quickly. I don't think that's a tell. I think it's maybe a little worrying that they were able to get that opening, but taking down an Arch player in that fashion with that long-range CZ, it's not going to happen every day.
Yeah.
That was a pretty amazing shot from ZOTAC.
Also, poor Coldzera caught pinched over towards truck lane. He had his attention over towards pit because the apartment player comes out just moments before the man on boiler also commits. So the old 1-2 combo really caught him by surprise.
The Namco classic. And as we normally see when you lose the second round, you go ahead and buy up one more time. It's kind of, you know that the other team doesn't have that much to work with. There's a lot at stake because you could get 2 free. So the odds are good. And wow, completely blind does damage to Freeman. It's not damage he's going to know about, but he might find out later. This round becomes close.
Yeah, and even if he never finds out, until, of course, one of these pistols can sweep away the kill, then he's perfectly content with that. Yeah. The only grenades here that can deal an extra bit of damage would be the frag of Stu, just chucked out at that point. Over towards Banana, where there are, of course, 2 players moving forward, and the bomb a 3rd in tow.
Timely smoke. It looks like they wanted to perform some kind of rotate. I think they'll boost first, and Tarek from downtown with that scout. It's a clean headshot into the stairs. This really does change things now. With a minute up, there's not much map control taken. Top mid has just been infiltrated, but the wrap has yet to occur. Attack makes contact.
Yeah, they have done a good job of putting Tarek in a more difficult position, though. With that scout, he no longer has a lane of range to try and work with. Although this has convinced Flash to head over towards the B site, and despite Fallen having been there just moments ago, he has reeled his way over towards Arch. Now, the utility could be an indicator of a commitment, so expect him to come flying back rapidly, and in the meantime, the Pistols will try their best to hold. So far, so good, until Attacker gets through smoke, and swapping the sidearms not fast enough. Stewie, again, just clears the B site.
You can take the second round, but if you don't get the third, it hurts real bad. Hurts all your bones. And that's a good setup from Mibr. Flash actually did a nice job with that first SMG peeking at Arch because it pushed Tarek back into the site. And then they were actually worried, even though they had the 3-man stack at B, they were worried about the wrap. So they ended up pulling one player out. And that made it a little bit easier for Flash to go B. But at the end of the day, the shots were too nice. And it was a nice touch for Mibr to have that boost as well. To put cold up for insurance.
Of course, as you said, when it goes 1-1, you tend to give it another buy. And when it goes 2-1, you do the same. It's going to be the double AK with Kevlar, however. A little bit of orchestration being thrown out from the tees. Attacker with Freeman also have some nades on this, but they haven't been given much because the smokes block a lot of the early vision.
The 2 AK buy can prove to be powerful. On almost any map, you get 2 entries instantly. Can be a site, completely compromised. No option to retake. Good damage dealt on Lovey. Tarek takes a very safe peek from the top of the balcony.
For not quite sure if he should help with truck lane or keep eyes allocated on Arch. Fallen had crept his way into the cranny down here towards the bottom of Banana, where he first finds Summer. Now, nobody's here to bail him out, so he's going down with a fight. Flash could help out, but because of the immediate presence in his face, he's not destined for much more than a single kill.
Now, they earn the rotate back, but because he dies all the way at the bottom of Banana, they know they can't just get to B for free. And Stewie makes that full rotate back, is now in oranges, is fully committed to the site, and even has a teammate here just in case they try to press further, which they do.
Ooh, a little bit of disjointedness as Zoki comes in first. Stu cleans him up, and Furt dropping one as well. The support towards the B site falls. Freeman 1v3 is going to have time to work this after plant because he gets it in just as Mibr come barreling up Banana, and his decision is to go to the back corner. He's going to try to play over towards yellow boxes. Tarek not quite sure where he could have got off to, but the plant is on Coffin. And Freeman toying with the idea of going for a peek here. He could cut this down into a 1v1 and then anticipate an eventual peek. But now he's been spotted, so the jig is up. The duels do not connect in his favor. Tarek clears the board, and that's Mibr to establish a bit of momentum.
I think it was well played from both sides. Like that Freeman was trying to take that 1v1, as he pointed out. Would have been nice for him, and it probably would have put the round further in his favor. I mean, once you play an emo and you get closed off on that angle, it's very hard to get 2 kills. So if you get the first one early, then you can separate yourself, get behind that emo pillar, which is actually very powerful and unspammable as well, and reset the situation completely. So MIBR clean that up. Flash Gaming as a consolation prize, get a nice plant out of it, gives them a little bit of money, and allows them to get some pistols. One of the problems we saw with Tai Lu, and not to directly compare these two teams, is they are different. They, on their eco rounds, didn't spend enough money on just a little bit of utility, one flash, one smoke. Instead, they always favored buying stronger pistols, which, you know, it makes sense for a couple of players, but
yeah,
you know, sometimes one smoke can do a lot of good for your whole team.
Of course, a single flash can change a gunfight. So there won't be any support in terms of utility. As you said, it is just guns. A single deagle for Summer, and the CZs, one of which is now dead. The bomb thrown out in the open. So they can just continue to fire off this 5.56. For pummeling through smoke is not going to find further damage just yet. It is Freeman to fall next. coldzera gets him over towards the boiler. So now they've gotten a kill on both portions of the map. They know that Flash are trying to feel out a multiple of areas.
Yep. Bottom B control, bomb in an awkward spot for Flash Gaming. Top mid control retained, not a single player lost for MIBR, and that was about as clean a victory as you could ask for. They've also kept some of their more expensive grenades, some smokes and Molotovs. So it's 4-1. It's looking like the best start that you could possibly ask for after getting a hard eco on the second round. Now we move on to a rifle. You can see right away, Flash have not decided to pick up an AWP. Instead, we'll go for the 5 rifle by sort of grenades, but and definitely emphasis on smokes for utility. Let's see what the default is.
Molotovs are lots of them too. Trying to maybe section off what could have been a very aggressive first push from Flash in this gun round. But despite all the utility usage from MIBR, they've yet to find too much towards Banana.
Oh, Stu taking a peek over the smoke. This is something, if you watch the demos, you know that he's going to try to do quite often. It's kind of hard to get that edge once you expel all that utility on Banana. To actually get some damage out of it, the team's going to give you the respect, and so teams are forcing these cracks and smokes that you can either peek, you haven't watched the demo, or peek if you feel like you can take the fight. Slightly CT favored.
However, Flash Gaming also capable of spamming through smoke, and in doing so, they've convinced Fur to fall off of his arch side. And then coldzera is going to feel the pressure on the opposite way. So brackets in question, but Tarek yet again from this position is going to find an opening kill. That's not the first time so far this half.
That's true, and it's because that tag team, that little bit of presence from coldzera, just alley-oops Tarek, and from a very safe spot, gets a kill. Oh, wow.
Smooth, Stu. Remember, Fallen was in the opposite corner. You saw the T's pre-fire it, and then, of course, he's on the other side. So slight change-up works out in his favor, and despite Fallen falling to attacker, he is now desperate to even get this bomb plant. He's got a man up close to deal with in the form of Fur. He could prioritize the plant in terms of getting cash, but it's a fake plant instead. He's looking for kills, and he's the one that winds up dead.
Yeah. Contact King comes through, cleans up that last frag. They retain majority of their players that round, and again, have just built up such a strong economy at this point. And that round was so fantastic from MIBR, just in with these two players on each site working in tandem to make sure that no one even took damage for the frags that they got. You know, Stu getting 2, Tarek getting his for free. So I really like what they did there, and we definitely hope to see more of that. That's the kind of stuff that Flash are not going to get exposed to very much practicing in Asia. So, you know, that's the stuff that either will inspire you or will be very demoralizing.
Yeah.
I think.
If you lack the solution, be doomed. Double grenade into the apps, not going to find any target, but then as those players retreat closer towards the site, they just clean up all the kills. We're talking unarmed and near unarmored opponents. So Flash, an easy pushover.
Yeah, like a few vegetables in a blender. Made a nice puree out of them.
You put vegetables in a blender?
I'll put a lot of things in. You don't put any vegetables in a blender? You've never tried to make just like something real green?
Nah, not about that.
No?
Nope.
Every time we play PUBG a lot. And, he's always eating fruit snacks.
Yeah, man, I love vegetables. I eat cucumbers.
I love vegetables, he says, right?
Yeah, but I won't put them in a blender.
You put some salt on your cucumbers, slice them up, put some salt on them?
No, I just eat it whole. I take the plastic off and just wield it and chow down.
You guys don't know, he's literally brought entire cucumbers to land.
That's true.
To eat, yeah, straight out the plastic.
ESL Pro League.
Not suggestive at all.
For some reason, Moses didn't want to share.
There's two sides to the cucumber, Moses.
Yeah.
Maybe you should reconsider. Totally sanitary.
Maybe a quick little op peek from coldzera. That's not something we've seen as of yet, the AWP presence from Mibr. So as we hit that 8th round, and things not getting stale just yet, they also try to aggress inside of the apps. Nice kill onto Fur from Attacker. He knows there's a second one there, but the Molotov clearly indicating the retreat, and Tarek will find his safety for free.
Absolutely love here having Flash Gaming look for their opening pick quickly and working in a giant group to just kind of force feed a frag into their hands, and it doesn't seem like it's going anywhere now. No trade in sight for ZOTAC. There was a moment there where they were 4-4 with mid control and a lot of time remaining, but now they're suddenly in a much less favorable position and have to work back from a deficit.
I love how Mibr's offense can be just so suffocating in the sense that they get all these aggressive setups right out of the gate, and then in a moment's notice, everybody's just retreat and fallen back into a much more passive situation. It's like the difference in setup, the stark contrast is just really nice to see. It shows you depth in their preparations, but nothing can prepare you for a couple of shots like that. Freeman not going down without a fight. Oh my God, he's got the third. It all comes down to young Stu, who's barreling up from middle. He's got no utility, no kit, just an M4 in hand, and an opponent with 58 HP.
He's going for the hard read now. A big rotate around Arch, but Freeman is actually calling it out. The thing is that Stu is probably going to assume that he went to look for this, and that's why he avoided lane in the first place. So now he might expect Freeman to be here. The thing is, he's only got a flash. A smoke would have been much more favorable.
Yep. Still, the flash goes out, misses the mark, and
he calls it out.
Hits it. I mean, you think you've got a clutch, but you just can't deal with the smoke criminal Stu.
That was actually super well played. I mean, just on a read level, had no information on how he would do that. Knew exactly what he's going to try to pull off. You know, walking all the way around to Arch when the bomb goes down, it's just such a big commitment. You know, you can only make so many plays. You can only tap that bomb so many times. Yeah. You're burning a lot of time off that clock.
And I mean, hell, if we see Freeman get himself into pit with that AWP, I think he's got a huge advantage over Stu, who's trying to dry walk around from Arch, no smoke. Like, if it wasn't the boiler walkout from Freeman, then I feel like he's got a much better chance at winning that clutch.
It's kind of sad just because Freeman had such amazing shots.
Beautiful,
yeah,
beautiful
that was
kills.
Really well played. I mean, he knew where the kills were coming from too, only to be overshadowed in that last moment there. And it also would have been a saving grace for Tyloo in this half. It's starting to look
Flash.
kind of oh, sorry, excuse me.
It's okay.
Flash is starting to look kind of ugly at this point.
I feel like that's also one of the biggest individual plays we've seen come out of them just yet. And it's a shame when you get one of those what could be highlight moments just fall that short, because it's almost all for nothing. Right?
Yeah.
It wasn't the 4K clutch. It was one step short. So what's the result? Another buy. It's going to be a little light on utility, but still the 5 AKs behind them.
It's actually quite interesting to think, you know, Stewie as a one-man coming to A is actually quite practiced at that specific clutch situation as the player who is left at bottom banana quite often. And you see that with him on different sites, like rotating from inner on train and other small sites that he's been taken over. So if you see that he's been proficient in that instance, you can probably look back at some tape and see that he's probably done it before in the past as well.
One man slips by. We've got a little bit of an entry fragger coming in. ZOTAC tries his best, but then just dies completely alone. Sectioned off for the rest of the team. Freeman will respond with a bit of a kill towards middle, so still the A-site defense in question, but it seems to hold strong. We've got 3 CTs all around it, and then, of course, as said, that one man from behind. It's not Stu this time. He's dead. It's Fallen waiting for his chance to potentially strike, but seeing as he's an opper, he could also just hold this off. There's 2 ops still standing, one of which committed to the back of the site. And remember, a man advantage for Flash looks great just now. They're toying with the cross, and that's where the first man drops. coldzera misses his second shot, and he knows these targets are all upon him, but he's all alone, and still he gets that kill? So sick. So we watch Stu clutch a 1v1. Now let's see if the King can do one better.
Yeah, Father Fallen coming in from the Arch wrap, the 2v1. It's not going to be easy.
No, definitely not, but he should predict that position. So now it's a matter of figuring out the last. And he's got the utility for it. This is going to land directly in front of Summer. May not spread to his feet, but he's still going to change position. Now he's on the column, Fallen, trying to snub him out, trying to sniff him out, and still he holds it cold. And yet, he nearly dies regardless. One bullet's all it takes. Fallen's got the clutch.
Oh my god, absolutely pressed him in every direction. Slightly missed the molly, but still played the box to perfection. That was nice. Recovers an off as well. Another round for Mibr. Back-to-back clutches to top it off.
This is sick. I mean, we've got Stu on 9 kills winning clutch rounds, Fallen on 9 rounds winning clutch rounds, and Tarek just putting up the body count as he's currently 12-3.
Yeah, it's like almost like this quiet 12 kills, but he's just been nailing people from the balcony and over at lane over and over again. So this is, this is one of the hardest rounds to swallow for Flash. You know, rounds that barely slipped out of their hands. Really well played by Mibr, though. He's looking extremely sharp.
It's been a little while since we've seen the 3-man B, if I'm not mistaken. They're going to try to get that wall bang and grenades to deal some damage, soften up their targets. Sure enough, Lovey's hit to 71. But he's got safety now as he wraps back around the corner.
Yeah, certainly difficult to find a safe spot to stand behind that wall. Great Molotov to flush out anybody here at bottom banana. And even if they get to stay here, just knowing that they're being called out is kind of disconcerting.
Whoa, Bert feels that Slow is pushed into the open. Stu nearly actually just goes past him. But in this instance, it is finally Flash Gaming. Well, I take that back. No longer a man advantage.
And that's something that we've heard before. But at least they're on even terms. Stu here still being very aggressive to hold on to these frags, and there's actually 2 players, and Lovey is there to try to take both of them down by himself.
Oh man, Freeman gives up his back. coldzera will take it with ease.
They will be unrelenting with their trades, and it's really on Flash to make sure their spacing is impeccable.
Yeah, which unfortunately in this round I think was quite poor. But it's not over yet. They can still come in with some headshots at the end of the day. coldzera falls as his brains are blasted to the back of Moto. Stu and Fallen, 1 clutch each already, and now it's going to be Attacker to try and gun them both down. They want to synchronize. You can see Stewie falling back towards Library and giving Fallen time to get closer, at which point they will attempt to pinch. But Attacker's going to do a very good job of isolating these duels. Once more he plays towards Boiler, and he just slips in. Fallen not going to give chase. So now Attacker's got a very real chance at coming in off of the balcony, but there is a smoke in play for the CT side, and it's going to be in front of the bomb. Oh no, Attacker's got them dead to rights. Finds them both by surprise at a 2nd round for Flash.
That patience and that composure for those last 3 taps, really well done. And he picked the perfect time to peek out where he knew he could catch someone holding W, turn it into a 1v1, and realized that he was confident with that player jumping up on top of the scooter to try to get a peek on him. So that was nicely done, and almost like ships in the night. An opportunity was missed by Fallen, who was trying to walk up mid as Attacker went into halls. So clutch goes the way of Flash Gaming, which is nice to say. You don't want to see a map where it's like, you know, every clutch
yeah,
goes
that's the
one
first
way.
of 3.
Right.
2 for Mibr. Try to keep track of that. Interestingly enough, Flash win a 2nd round, and boom, we're back on pistols.
That is actually a really big thing. I mean, that's 3 1v1s?
Yep.
3 1v1/1v2s in these past rounds, and that means that Mibr just have not had the ability to save any money whatsoever. Instantly, Hall's control is taken. I'm sure that Flash Gamer are actually quite aware that Mibr will be low, have invested in these SMGs, and ZOTAC goes and scouts one out. And his name was coldzera. Dies on his fall back to the A site, but there's still 3 men here.
Yeah, he hit the dirt like a sack of taters. Poor guy tried to get around the corner, took a bullet to the back of the head. Now we've got that retreat up from Apps, so no presence over towards balcony. Yet again, that is where Tarek will be positioned. Not with an M4, but the P250 rather. Single flash on Fur. That can be thrown from Graveyard whenever they decide to chuck it. But in the meantime, B is open for the taking, and it seems like Flash will head that way.
Yeah, I actually think that ZOTAC might have ran a little bit too early, and that's tipped Mibr off into scouting once they hear that the last person has completely booked in. Now Fallen Takes his angle in the smoke, trying to do as much damage with his PT-50 as possible. Gets killed, and Flash look to have a clean anti-eco on their hands.
Knows he's here. Last man up is down. Fur cleared from the corner. Flash move forward with 5 guys alive. Considering they win 1 round after 3 1vx's, and then after the fact get all 5 guys alive. Like, that's literally the best case scenario they could hope for, because it really puts them back into contention for the rest of this half.
The greatest comeback since LeBron's hairline. As they say it in the memes on Twitter.
You tweet, bro?
I tweet, I tweet, bro.
I heard you like Instagram, too.
I'm all about that IG life, all right? Definitely want to catch my story if you want to learn more about Hong Kong.
Got grenades each way. Sure enough, MIBR can muster together some sort of a purchase. No kit. Take note of that if we do have a retake on our hands. They're a little lighter on their initial utility. Remember maybe 5 rounds back when they were just chucking everything they had in the opening 10 seconds. Seeing as they're working with less, they have to be a little more frugal.
MIBR have actually decided to go passive setup right out the gate. And they are fortified on the A side with banana control that allows them to do that. And also gives the ability to punish these SMGs. And Flash Gaming really don't like it when they lose 1 kill. Immediately start scouting out for other openings. And they pretend as if it's some kind of trade by pushing out on another part of a map. But it seems like it's not calculated enough to put somebody else off their mark. And, you know, Tarek's getting a free kill. This guy's flailing around running out the halls. It's easy. Yep,
exactly. You know? It's so divided. You know, the rest of Flash are still in towards middle and the bottom of Banana. So they continue to fall 1 by 1. Looks like MIBR might get back on the horse in a solid state because all 5 CTs currently survive. Lovey looks to cut down the numbers, but all he'll deal is damage. Death not on the menu just yet. Bomb spotted, still clear for the taking. And getting a kill onto Fur is nice. Now, if you can hit the headshot to the pit, that's going to get it that much closer, but he falls just then after. So a little bit of damage dished out here, but still MIBR in a fantastic stance.
Some might look at a play like that to push out to try to even up as soon as possible as being kind of just lazy or almost defeatist in a sense where you're trying to grasp straws. Yeah, exactly, as if it's already over. And some might view it as like a good strategy and there's a time and place, but definitely it shouldn't be something that they consistently do at the very minimum, because then you're not being spontaneous, then you're not catching people off guard, then you're not throwing curveballs. You're simply playing right into the opponent's hands who are playing a consistent, safe play style and who are already very used to your tendencies, which you're making readily apparent round after round.
Yaps. There is a man just outside the boiler, hiding in the cubby of porch. You'll have support from Coldzera. So nobody over on Arch side this time around, and there's no deep B banana presence either. Stu just floating around the top, anticipating some kind of presence here from Flash.
Yeah, certainly my personal comfort rule. And that's a good kill. The smoke will actually help him out quite a bit. Fall back now. They can take all this top hit, but since they can't get into the arch, can't get in the bracket, not a lot they can do here. Besides getting melted.
Impromptu boost. They do it on the fly. Remember, there was a player underneath, but by putting him up over the smoke, you see how it comes into fruition. 2 kills, and again, what seems to be the clean sweep. 10-3 with 5 CTs surviving. A head boost is icing on the cake.
They're definitely having fun with this. And you can see why. Content King on top. And that's it. Wow, Flash Gaming are falling apart at the seams.
Yeah, Coldzera and Fallen have it now caught up with Tarek. 15 kills apiece between him and Cold. Fallen just trailing so slightly.
Officially nearly a race here. And again, MIBR, fresh back from, I think this is Yanko's first official behind them. They're fresh back from player break where they boot camped and are now.
Whoa.
Did I miss something?
Floating arms.
Floating arms.
Just arms.
Oh.
Sorry. 2 quick kills. MIBR just completely obliterate Flash. That's why there was floating arms. It was a foreshadowing to that dismemberment, which just happened in Banana.
It's a good save, Connor. It's a good save. Thank you. Do you go by Stronny now? Heard you're 180 now.
Yeah. We still keep it scrawny. You know, you got to keep your roots.
Right.
Yeah. But it's not GG. It's CG.
CG on Twitter, right? Your Twitter?
Yeah.
That's right. All right, good. Just so they know. 11-3, last round of the first half. No matter what happens here. That smoke specifically to put out the Molotov in such a way that the Opper can peek in front of it. Device does that same exact smoke. Works with the charm here. Looking terrifying in the halls. Nobody's allowed in.
Entry denied. Application rejected. Despite how lovely you may be, there's no entry on A site. Bomb clear for the taking if Summer wants it, but it's a matter of where does he go. Fur's the only liability at this point as he sits on 6 health, and you can see him all the way behind his bigger brothers. The frontline defense from MIBR is already suffocating with a flank, and Summer is doomed, whether he realizes it or not.
Wow, and that's it. 12-3, very dominant half. There was so many exciting rounds to look at. A great couple of clutch attempts from MIBR as well as Flash. Now, majority of them went the favor of MIBR, and honestly, a lot of those rounds were played extremely nicely from both sides. It's going to be kind of demoralizing to think, well, this is a map that is potentially 4 rounds away from being over if you're Flash, and it's definitely. It's like I want to say I'm more surprised, but at the same time, I had high hopes for MIBR, Connor. Yeah,
that's it, right? I mean, again, we talk about it. We've had 3 quarterfinals so far today, and all 3 of the lower-ranked teams created the upset. But this is the matchup with the largest gap between the higher and lower-ranked teams. So it's the least likely in terms of upsets, and I think after that first half, I completely see why.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for Flash, they're on a bit of a downhill trend at the moment, right? Having recently lost to MVP for the IEM Chicago qualifier. I feel like that was quite the upset, especially in terms of pretty much regional matchups, right? They're pretty accustomed to one another. And so the struggles are real. They'll have a little bit of a breather before they get into the second pistol. But regardless, MIBR are just looking so hot at the moment.
Yeah. And
look at those shiny bicep holders.
Bicep holder.
What do you call it?
You could probably put a cup in there, if not a bicep. Yeah, I could totally see why. It's like a nice beer cozy or bicep holder. Absolutely. This is the fantastic stage that we're going to have for just tonight. I mean, we've had it for a long time today.
Yeah.
But it will not be the stage
we've technically had it over the course of 2 days now.
We are in day 2 technically, yes.
Yeah. What time is it?
That's big facts.
Man, it's almost 3.
It's almost 3.
Yeah. You see, here's the beauty of it, right? We've been acclimatized to the East Coast, right? So that's a 12-hour difference. So as long as I don't get used to being here, and as long as these hours continue to be screwed up, it's like 3 p.m. for me.
Right, so you're great when you get back.
Exactly. I'm in the prime.
In and out. Easy.
We'll see if this one is as quick as can be. MIBR, if they win that second pistol, would be hoping to get a full clean conversion. Remember, last time they won pistol, only to be upset in the follow-up by the force buy from Flash.
Pistol round comes out on the T side. Let's talk about the setup. What do they got going on? I think initially it's did Fallen throw a flash, I think, to make sure that no one could peek top mid, just so they could cross safely, not get one tapped, one gushed by a USP that is being a little bit frisky. Now, attacker here is also on banana. Again, these long lanes of sight, very favorable for weapons like USPs. And, ooh, attacker is trying to get all fancy. And I think he was trying to shoot the man on the back, but Stu is the collateral damage.
Yep, walks right into it. Now, Fallen goes up and above. A little verticality helps him with the headshot, evens things up at 4 apiece.
Round reset for sure. We'll see what MIBR do, as they have just lost 1 player. This is the portion of the round where they are ready to play flexibly. They want to take map control, they want to take fights. They got a little bit of both. And now that the numbers have thinned out a little bit for the CT side, they got to figure out how to make it a 2-2 or decide to go B if it is a 3-1 setup like we're seeing here. So a little bit of presence made at A to make sure that the rotates are not going to be too hasty for the CTs. And now they congregate over towards the banana, the yellow man on the banana.
They're going to find Summer smoked off. No. All right, I like it. Smoke inside of the bomb site. That's going to give them bit to work with once they're inside of it, and of course Summer has nothing really to hide except for the fact that he can retreat into construction. Now the support is very quickly upon him, and despite that, he is still cleared by Tarek. 2 HP makes the difference here, and because of that smoke grenade, they have the entirety of the site in that shroud of secrecy. The bomb plant comes through. Fallen trying to trade here as it's the man advantage in the hands of Flash. What's the after plant? Fallen on bomb. And a man back by new boxes. CTs clear out corners. They've lost ZOTAC as he comes barreling forward all alone. Now the CTs have to worry about being split because sure enough, they've got them dead to rights. Clean, crisp headshots and an excellent second pistol round win here for Mibr.
I couldn't have put it any better than that. That was a very nice clothesline from Fallen on the first man. I think ZOTAC pushing into the pool, and then coldzera from the new box with the from the stew box with the USP.
You just see it, right, so intuitively. The moment ZOTAC dies on his push up from the cross, you see Fallen realize, like, that back flank on construction's open for the taking. And in fact, he even catches a player off guard as he was trying to come clear that very same position. Like, he knew what Fallen was up to, but Fallen was just no hesitation and so quick that the timing worked out in his favor. A split second later, and maybe that Flash player is ready for his push.
40 upside down. Backgammon here in Hong Kong.
Ay, they're walking right into these pistols, maybe a little overzealous. They could be on damage control. Remember, they have such an advantage with these Kalashnikovs. ZOTAC clothesline by Fallen. And Tarek, he's got a wind as to what's up. Sees the shoulder, chases the kill. Summer falls.
Very clean with the clear. And Fallen here has actually got the bomb in the cubby in the 2v1 and has decided to stay patient and await a rotate.
Tarek's calling. You want to plant? No. It's not going to work out. It's actually not only drop bomb, but an AK in the hands of attacker. But Tarek, no hesitation. Again, I love seeing that. Mibr, quick split-second decisions, and it's just finding Flash, you know, with not necessarily defenses erected because it's so quick.
Yeah, I mean,
it's
that's
so quick.
The best way to put someone in an awkward timing when you're high on confidence, you make a move quickly. They're almost certainly going to be unaware, unprepared, scared, and just a little bit too loose in that moment, and they're constantly capitalizing on that. And that's why we see steamrolls, because it's just it's a zero-sum game, right? It's whoever's most confident can always steal and just detract more confidence from the other team.
Killer instinct. Empiric in nature. Fallen has cleared attacker, who does try to get aggressive with an MP9. It was an ambitious play, but hell, it got him a kill. ZOTAC retrieves the gun, but they, again, don't give up any real estate. They don't want him to retrieve that weapon. They don't want anybody else to be pedaling their way through Banana. It is theirs for the taking, and nothing can stop them. They have such a huge advantage in this round, and even if they lose it by some fluke, look at the buffer they have to work with.
Flash Gaming looking like a glorified punching bag, to put it lightly, in this map so far. I'm sure, even though Mibr are going to be regarded as just the favorites in general, it's more than just winning. They have to win in this like kind of dramatic fashion to even feel probably happy about their performance. So at least you know, meeting if not exceeding expectations here.
Yeah, we had 2 teams in the top 15, I believe, if Steele's interview was correct, and that would be Mibr and Optic. Optic obviously gone at the hands of Ghost, regardless.
The hands of Steele himself.
And then we'll have Mibr. So yeah, you're absolutely right. It needs to be in convincing fashion, so we know that one of our 2 favorite teams is actually coming into this with form. Optic fell flat. And right now, Freeman has done the same. Summer follows suit as both are slain, and the last man up is nowhere to be found, but it doesn't matter regardless. 15-3 inevitably, as Flash will be grasping at straws.
Grasping at straws, outclassed. And yeah, Mibr with a commanding lead, and it's basically going to have infinite money options, and it's certainly going to be a game that they can play around in, but I'm sure they'll be taken seriously. First land back after the boot camp. Definitely like to know what they did at the boot camp, what they changed. You know, some of the stuff that we can observe from the outside, but certainly not everything that we can see. I know from Yanko, one thing that will clear a lot of stuff up for people is that he mentioned that, you know, their communication problems with the, you know, the language, it's not any worse than anybody's regular communication problems on their normal English-speaking team, you know, where they might miscall something once in a while. Like, I think he said, like, coldzera once when they were clearing Beyond Inferno would say 1 dead new box and 1 left coffins and would say 1 left coffins, 1 dead new box
Yeah.
by accident, but that's a mistake anybody could make in the
course.
heat of the moment, and he referenced that as a way to say that, like, their communication's just been, like, pretty good.
Yeah. It's not a language barrier. It's just more so
Language of
comfortable.
Counter-Strike.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. A lot of it is universal. Unless you're playing a CIS team where callouts are numbers, Mohan. But who knows what they're up to?
That's true.
I don't. 4v4 here. We got a couple kills. ZOTAC able to equalize after Summer was the first casualty in this one. And he actually gets himself another despite only having a dozen points of health. So, in a very rare occasion, we see them with 1 man up. But it wasn't for very long. ZOTAC still just trying to roam around the side of A site, ends up costing himself his life, and then his teammate falls quite quickly thereafter. What does that result in? A completely open bomb site with 2 CTs on the opposite side of the map in a very desperate retake attempt at 15-3.
This could be the very last round of the game, Connor.
Very likely, I would argue, because we're looking at 2 CTs with no utility, no kit, one of which on an op smoked off in the face of Fallen. Bomb's halfway ticked now. Time is going to be the biggest of issues, not to mention the fact that they have no information whatsoever. So in the last few dying seconds, you're just going to see desperation sink in and bullets as well.